Today I'm going to introduce a technology that we use here at Aftec called 3D printing. 3D printing is a technology that was developed back in the 1980s, so it's been around for quite a while. But only recently it's seen a resurgence with the availability of the technology, mostly for hobbyists, but also along and out in manufacturing companies as well. It's more formally known as additive manufacturing.
What is additive manufacturing exactly?
So additive manufacturing is different from typical manufacturing methods in that you're adding material to a part as opposed to taking material away from a part, such as cutting wood or using a router or milling metal. So we go layer by layer and continuously add more and more plastic, metal, whatever the material is, onto the model and get these pieces built up over time.
So what materials are we actually using right here?
So the materials that we're using here right now is called PLA or polylactic acid. And then we have other materials that are available in different kinds of plastics such as TPU or thermopolyurethane.
What's the difference between the two?
The differences are largely their mechanical properties. So PLA is a very rigid material. So it springs back, it's hard, it can be used for lots of different applications where you need a hard material. And then TPU itself is actually very flexible. It'll spring back. So any parts that we print out of this are going to actually be more rubbery.
So then we have some stuff here. Well, which of these used PLA or TPU?
So all of these materials are actually made out of PLA. We have a number of different examples here. Something like this would be very difficult to build with traditional manufacturing methods. Instead, we use the additive manufacturing where we can build it up layer by layer and get all these inside pieces. And they can even actually move around however it is that we've designed it. That one there you have there is a whole bunch of gears. You can see that it's kind of a plastic prototype for something that you would later on develop into a metal piece. And then right here we have this plastic chainmail, which is really just a whole bunch of very small interlocking plastic pieces. That just kind of shows the flexibility that you can get even with something like a hard PLA material.
That chainmail is pretty sick. What are the processes for transferring this stuff? Like, how do you get the file planes for it?
So the files are all digital models, and there's a number of different online resources that are available to the public where you can just go find a bunch of different models and print them off immediately. Or you can go and design them yourself with computer-aided design programs. You take those programs and then you transfer them into instructions that the computer inside the 3D printer will actually understand.
So what do you use to transfer them? Is it just...
You can transfer them a whole bunch of different ways. Most of the models that we have here transfer through USB drives. So you can use removable media, or you can have them on a network, or through Wi-Fi. Some of them even use Bluetooth.
So you alluded to it a little bit earlier. We use PLA and TPU. Are there other building materials that can be used with the same?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of different building materials. There's printers out there that use metals, for example, titanium and copper. There's printers out there that can use concrete or cement even to build housing. There's also printers that are being developed now to use things like bioplastics or biologic materials so that they can create prosthetic limbs, for example, or even replacement organs and skin.
Wow. Thanks for sharing with me, Tech Sergeant Swanson.
My pleasure.